Ah, there we go. Now you should be able to hear me. Sorry, guys. Oh, dear. Everything I said in no volume, huh? Well, I haven't said too much about the cards itself yet, except that we had a missing card. So I just went and I got Tower and put it in the last spot. Oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever I said to begin with, I can say that later. Let's just get on with it now, because we've got the cards here now, so I'd rather get on with reading. So, still says no data, though. I'm still live on YouTube. Can you hear me now, guys? Oh, good. Good! Thank you. Alright. Oh, hang on a minute. Did I not set that up? How come that's not coming up? Oh, it is coming up. It's just tiny. It was hiding behind my camera. Okay. That's all good. Alright. Yeah, so as I was saying, we'll just get on with the reading. So that was funny. It went no data, just as I was mentioning about these two cards linked together here. But I'll start from the beginning since you couldn't hear me. So first of all, with the Grand Tableau, it's like a giant portrait. We start with framing it by doing the 4 corner cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We also look at the center card. So the 4 center cards here are like looking at the 1 card in the 9 box card reading. We'll look at that later. We look at how cards are connected in knighting, same way we do in the 9 box card reading, and we also even individually pair them up, including what house they're in. So starting with this card up here, which came out on its own earlier if you were watching, this is the letter in the house of the rider. So more or less letter rider. Now that can mean someone is bringing news, or there is news about someone. It can also, the rider can sometimes represent like a visitor, a relative coming to visit, or someone from the past. So, being a celebrity, it's kind of a given, isn't it? There's always going to be news about you, so that could be really anything at this point. We don't know yet, but when you go to this card, because we're going to do the 4 corner cards, this card over here is interesting. This is the ring card in the house of the coffin. Now, ring coffin, usually you straight away think, well, that's the end of a commitment, the end of a relationship. It can also mean the end of a cycle, because of the ring being circular in nature. It can, in a roundabout way, mean the end of a cycle as well, like closing the door on a cycle. This being news about a breakup, news about a engagement, news about something ending with the coffin there. So that's interesting. We don't know who the news is about yet, because we haven't connected any people cards yet. As I explained earlier, which you didn't hear me, I'll explain it again. In this reading, the man will be Mew, and most likely the woman will be Gulf. Okay, so they're the people cards there. There's also, people cards can be the dog, snake, the rider itself here, which is over in the bear house. Interesting, just jumping ahead there. But anyway, we'll look at it as we go. So, right, so far we have letter in rider, ring in coffin. Now what's down here? We have mice in ring. Well, that's kind of reinforcing what I said up here. Something is ending regarding a commitment, regarding a relationship, or regarding a cycle. It's all the same thing, because ring, coffin, mice. So having its corresponding with mice down here, I don't think I can look at the coffin as a positive thing. Meaning, it's not like it's just stalled. Definitely coffin means something's going to end, whether that be a cycle, like a karmic cycle, or whether that be an actual relationship. Something is going to end because something is decaying, something is losing its touch, losing its spark, deteriorating behind the scenes, so to speak. All right. And then this corner card here. So this is, where are we? This is child in the house of the moon. So again, child and moon, you could say inner child, could be inner child. It could be secretly wishing to have a child. It could be secretly having a new start. All right, I think I'm going to look some meanings up as we go as well, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything too obvious. But yes, all that together, there's going to be news coming from someone about a relationship or a commitment or a cycle ending because of its toxicity or deterioration in secret, little by little. Maybe I'm thinking, little by little, as in the child. It could be something like that. Are we all good, guys? You still with me? It says no data. I don't know. It doesn't say no data. It says poor on YouTube, so I don't know. Yeah. It's very touch and go today. Even though I had the urge to do a reading today, the internet is not exactly cooperating with me. So I may just end up putting this video, re-uploading this video. But what I was explaining earlier was I don't know if I can keep translating for you guys. I really urge you, if you need translations for my videos, if you don't understand English and follow along easily enough, maybe look for another way to translate these videos, because YouTube is making it very hard for me lately to translate. I can't get access to the auto subs to edit the timings, which is what I need to do in order to go onto my other programs and translate into another language, and then be able to sort of present the full complete package to YouTube. That's how I get the other language subtitles into YouTube, because they don't automatically do it to another language. You have to have it all, in a pretty little package for YouTube to accept it, which I can't do until I have access to the timing of the subtitles, which it's not letting me have lately. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep translating for you guys. YouTube's making it very hard for me. And I've complained a few times, but nothing's changing. So yeah, something to think about. But yeah, this is also why I just felt with the grand tableau that I haven't shown you guys yet. I don't know if I'm going to get it out. I don't know when I'm going to get it out. It's just playing on my mind that, you guys haven't seen it. I keep mentioning it in every reading, so that should be enough to, to say that it's a real thing. I'm not making it up, but I can't get it out there for proof. So I decided, since it's due already to do another reading, I'm going to do this reading now, live, so that there's some form of evidence out there that I did it, and worry about adding to the meanings or re-uploading or whatever later. Okay, so that's why I was kind of urged to do this reading today as well. So where were we? I was going to do meanings, wasn't I? Hang on. So let's just go, let's start from the beginning up here. let's go the letter writer first, just in case I missed anything. Letter writer. Written news, mail, information, letter on the way, planning a visit, sending a package through recorded delivery, and messages in physical form. So yeah, somebody's bringing a message or you're receiving a message about someone. Then we go ring coffin. Like I said, I can't really, with the mice being down here, I can't look at it as anything positive. But ring coffin, ending a commitment, break a promise, separation, end of a relationship or time apart, the termination of a contract, contracts coming to a natural end, swearing to coroner, promise of someone from your past, connect to an undertaker, contract is terminated. So yeah, all those things kind of covered in what I said anyway. Then mice ring. Mice, where's mice? There. Mice ring. A dishonest promise, a harmful commitment, commitment fading away, steal of a ring, spoiling a connection, mess in agreement, breakup of a relationship, stressful relationship, undependable agreement. Right, so these two cards pretty much link to each other. Now, this is about Mewgulf, this reading, but this is news about a breakup or commitment ending or something like that. So, you know, don't start thinking negative just yet, because usually it's not negative regarding Mewgulf anyway. But in case you are, just bear with me for a while. Alright, and then over here, Child Moon. Child Moon. Reputation, unknown, emotions, neglect of inner child's emotional needs. As I said, inner child. Uncomplicated or childish emotions, start of a cycle. Should have a comma there. Beginning to know something intuitively, creative child, new start is emotional, new moon. So even just reputation, reputation, emotions, neglect of inner child. Neglect of inner child's emotional needs. Now, I've said that many times. I'm sure you've lost count of how many times I've said that in regards to Mew. So it could be that. Or beginning to know something intuitively. That could be something as well. But yeah, definitely there's news coming. In the next 6 months, there's news coming about a cycle ending or a relationship or a commitment ending. Because of its toxicity, because it's no good for the person involved, because it's deteriorating behind the scenes, little by little, as I said earlier, in private, in secret, something like that. Okay, so that's framing the whole situation. That's what I'm getting from those cards straight off. So let's have a look at what we call the heart of the situation next. So the heart of the situation is made up of the 4 cards in the center. As I said, it's sort of like the 1 card in the middle for the 9 card box reading. You can hear me now, Nadine? Good. I'm just checking you're still with me there. Yeah, it says error, but I'm going to keep going anyway. I am recording as usual, so... Right, so it's made up of the 4 cards in the middle. Now, the houses that are involved, we have... wait a second. Just let me get this right. So we have the House of the Birds, House of the Child, House of the Garden, and House of the Mountain. So these 4 cards, the House of the Birds kind of represents what's being said, can represent communication of any kind between 2 people, between social circles, if you come down to the garden as well. Just in general, it can be all about that. If you have a partner, it can also be about your partner as well. If you're famous, like Mewgulf, it might be about gossip as well, gossip and rumours. In the House of the Child, it's more about what you might not be addressing, like your inner child, for example, or if you literally have a child, it could be about them. If there's any child in your life, it could also be about them. It can also be, if you look at it, a child as a new start, something being born. It can be about all the new things happening in your life, or what you wish to happen in your life. In this case, because it's the stars here, I'd say it's what you dream of happening. As I said, garden can be like social circles, your support system. I suppose being famous, it could also be your fandom and sort of your public persona, how you're known. And then mountain, all the obstacles, problems and challenges you may face regarding things in life. So these cards here, so for the birds, in the House of the Birds we have the whip. So that could mean people keep talking. People keep talking about Mewgulf, because this is about Mewgulf, right? So people keep talking about Mewgulf. If I jump ahead here for a second and I just knight this up here, because I was led to look there, this is where we got the special cards one after the other. We got incense burner, spirit and garden here. So this is like talking about a relationship, a public relationship, or luck in public. I say relationship because the whole thing's a relationship, but your luck in public, or your fame, your social status, being in the House of the Clover, it's clearing up. It's clearing up, and possibly karmic with the spirit there. Could, with the incense burner and the spirit there, it could be about, trying to publicly clear your name, but it's destined for you to be having this trouble, possibly. Could even be this is what you dream of, because if you come back here, as I said, this is like the child. This is all about Mewgulf, so, and you can even here, look, it links to the man here. So Mew, in other words. So Mew, if not both of them, they dream of having a new start with Gulf, clearing the air about what's happened between them in the public eye. That's what I'm getting from that. But it could also be that Mew dreams of having children, literally, because that is in the House of the Child. Having book here down in garden means there's secrets. There's a lot of secrets that perhaps only a handful of people know. Only a handful of people know the truth, you could say, about Mewgulf. Could be that. Or guard the truth. Could also be relating like bookkeeping for business matters and things like that as well. Could also be, book can also be linked to learning. So the public could be learning the truth about, we have heart here in the House of the Scythe. Learning about a decision somebody's going to make regarding love, or about someone ending love, or choosing something else other than love. And then in the house of the mountain we have the cross. Now that's tough. That's tough. That either means that the problem is destiny, or that the troubles, obstacles and problems that they are facing are really, really burdensome, really troublesome. Let me get some more meanings up. Oh, hang on, what's Nadine saying? This is Mew's reading, so I am thinking breakup with business partner. I am patiently waiting for the day when everything is in the open. Yes, well that's what I was getting at with this, pretty much. Because I was going to say, but I didn't earlier, what I was going to say is, if this were more about him breaking it for good with Gulf, you'd have to admit that there was a relationship in the first place, that there was a contract in the first place that had to be broken, or that there was a cycle that had to be broken. Which, none of those things, you know, according to the world, Mewgulf were over years ago. So none of that really agrees with their narrative. And this is why I just think, you know, really the only thing that fits there is the obvious, which we can see crumbling in front of our eyes already. I mean, oh, don't get me started on the latest we've seen from those two. You know, even though I know Mama J shared some pictures, but is there any glimpse? Can anybody see any glimpse, truthfully, of any happiness in those photos? You know, it's meant to be it's a family thing. Even if you're not supposed to be overjoyed during merit, it's a family thing. But I see no happiness whatsoever. Even Mama J, who was, you know, she couldn't stop smiling and looking so happy at that birthday merit all those years ago when Mewgulf were doing something sacred. She was all smiling, all happy, really like enjoying herself. In this picture she looked like she didn't want to even be there, and that's really saying something for Mama Day, who is, you know, she's a devoted what would you call it, Buddhist. You know, she practices what she believes with conviction. She really means it when she makes merit. She does it with all her heart and soul. And these pictures look like her heart and soul was not even there. Do you know what I mean? She looks so tired, worn out. Like, yeah, the pictures they put out first when she was preparing things with Mew, there was a glimpse of happiness there. But when everybody was present, that was gone. Even Papa J was looking kind of like, do we really have to do this? It's almost like this whole thing was for show. And, you know, both Mama and Papa J knew that, and so weren't feeling part of it, because it's like, you know, this has no meaning really, because it's all for show. That was the vibe I was getting personally. And not to mention Mew and the other themselves, they just didn't look at all, you know, there was no real thing there at all. In fact, Mew looked like he was trying to avoid him. They were separated. You know, when they were together, Mew seemed to have a habit of looking away. Even in a picture with a monk, there was a picture with a monk where Tool did the, you know, what do you call it, the civilized thing, and looked at the camera and smiled, while Mew sort of just looked away with a smile on his face. I was like, really? Like, how much more proof do you need to see to know that there's something amiss there? There's really something amiss. Then, okay, the other shares the latest that I've seen, the other shares a little clip of him at the dinner table with all the Jongchivivats and baby Nini. For the first time, Nini doesn't give him a horrible look. Like, you know, she just looks at him. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, sort of, oh, somebody's got a camera on me. Oh, okay, sort of like that. Like, it could have been anybody taking that video. In fact, the way Nini was looking, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. that person behind the camera, because you can see it in her eyes. There's a whole different aura coming from baby Nini when that guy's around. I've got nothing against him, but there's just, there's something. It's almost like she knows that he's not a fan of having kids, sort of, if you get my drift. Anyway, but even at this table, nobody was really looking overjoyed to be together. It's like, if you're going to show something, maybe you should show yourselves being happy instead of all these candid camera moments that make you look miserable. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going about that. Let's not worry about that. We're doing Mewgulf right now. I am going to do another one for those two later, but let me do Mewgulf first, okay? Anyway, also a little bird told me that it was all to please the elderly, so anyway. Alright, so where were we? Oh yes, that's right, I was looking up the meanings. So let's have a look at the meanings now. So, whip in the house of the birds. Whip birds. Worrying about painful feedback, anxiety and nervousness, arguments on social networking websites, abuse on social media, punishing someone by spreading a rumor about them, arguments, debate, many conversations, hectic. So yeah, there's a big theme there about social media. We're talking about Mewgulf here, can't be avoided. It's about people are continuing to talk behind their back about the truth, about what could possibly be happening, etc. If I even see, I linked up here before saying about they're still talking about how things ended with the clearing the air for what's happening between them in the public eye. And then if we come down this way with the knighting, we also get the stork and the market together. So this is about when they stop working together in the public eye. And then we also, if we come down here, it could also be about people hoping that they are secretly planning to work together again in the future. Because if you go this way, this is future. So there's also that, just from that. If I come here, knighting this way from the scythe and the market here, which, hang on a minute, that was, which house are we in? Dog Tower. This is Crossroads. So the decision to break up regarding work, to stop working together all those years ago, there. Or in the future. Could be choosing not to work together again, even, since it's in the future there, actually. And then we come down here, which is ring, book, letter, man. Man scythe. Well, man scythe could be, this is all Mew making a decision, or it could be about choosing not to work together in the future with another man, possibly. Could be that too. If we go up here, then we have fox and, what's this? Whip. Fox in the house, the whip. So a man is deciding to stop secretly continuing to do something in the background. See, it's all connected. It's like a big web. It's all connected as you go along, but let's not get too off track here. Alright, so that was this one. Now, Star's Child. Let's see what Star's Child is. Star's Child. Childish hopes, new hope, small amount of inspiration, new inspiration, manifesting a child, as I said, wanting to have children, wishing for a child, manifesting a new beginning, famous child, and successful new start. So these are all the things that possibly Mew dreams of having with Gulf. We have ship here, ship in the house of the snake. So the idea that he's moved on, perhaps, you know, that ship has sailed, possibly deceptive. If we link it here, we have clouds in the house of, that's mice. Clouds in the house of mice. That means clarity is slowly coming. The clouds are slowly disappearing, evaporating. Down here, key is in the house of, that's lily, isn't it? Key is in the house of the lily. So the key to everything is remaining mature, possibly. Or maybe it's even, you know, you won't get peace until you retire. Could be that too. Being the nature of it all. But I think it's more about, because we go back to this siphon man, it's about a man making a mature decision about what he truly wants. Here we have dog in the house of the ship. Whether he wants to keep sailing and traveling with his bestie, or whether he wants to remain loyal to something, to ship. Remain loyal to a job he's doing, perhaps. Or whether he wants to see that job for what it is, being it's linked with snake, that could be, you know, fraud, fake, faux, F-A-U-X, faux, or just something he doesn't wish to pursue anymore. Man up here is in the house of Tower. Could be to do with work. Working with a man. Business partner, perhaps. Yes, okay. And then let's move on to book in the house of the garden. Book in the house of the garden is public knowledge classes, a public class, a university campus, a large library or a surprise gathering. Information is shared in a public or group setting. Discovery in the garden, school system, anthropology, teaching a group, investigate a society, educate a community, published books, workshop, meet the author, events and seminar. So it's all about knowledge. This theme, the book and garden, it's all about knowledge, this one. It can be secrets, but it's not touching on that in this particular meaning. It's more going towards education. Educate a community, like, that's interesting. You know, sometimes I wonder if all these things he's doing with Sunny now, if he's trying to make a point that he can be like that with someone and it not actually mean anything in real life, like he can act that way with someone and still be faithful to someone behind the scenes, which is sort of still double-sided, because, well, shippers and haters of waanjaimewgulf are going to think, well, he's trying to say that about him back in the day with Gulf, that it was all acting. But it can also be looked at in another way, as if to say everything that he may have done with Tool in the past, sorry for mentioning his name, but everything he's done with the other in the past for fan service, for trying to make them popular, anything remotely close, could also have just been him acting. So it could be, it's a double-edged sword, really. It could go both ways. Then finally, let's have a look at cross in the house of the mountain. Now, I've had this meaning before, so I'm remembering like really, really burdensome trouble, like a real problem, like a very sort of feels like it's never going to end problem. But let's see what it is. Cross mountain. Yeah. Unbearable challenge, obstacle causing suffering, obstacle to ideology, long-term suffering, permanent suffering, tolerating the fact that things are not going to get any better, accepting your fate for the time being, loneliness, and suicidal thoughts. So like I said, a lot of really big problems there. If this were talking about him and golf, I would say he's basically surrendering to the situation at hand, and to the fact that he may never actually be able to be fully happy and content with golf at this stage. It could be that.
Shower time.
There's no data.
The camera better not be on.
It's not on you. Can you shush?
Better not be. Chin.
Go on, do what Dad says. Yes, they're not in bed right now because it's during the day here. So I'm risking it all to do a reading today. But I just had this feeling, this urge to do it, so. Yes, they are desperately trying to keep it together. They are running out of ideas. Yep, could be. Alright, so we've done the four corners and we've done the heart of the situation now. I might just have to wait until these guys get out of the room.
Nuggets in here.
What is Blue Boy gone?
Nuggets in there.
Where?
They can hear you, you know.
Where's Blue Boy? Where's Blue Boy gone? Where's
Probably gone down the toilet.
They
now.
can hear you, you know.
Where's Blue Boy?
Come on, Cheyenne, just go on.
Nice one. Yeah.
Alright, so now we're going to focus more on some of the individual cards. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on the man here. Now, like I said, in this reading and in most of my readings regarding Mewgulf, Mew is the man. Mew is the masculine, the more masculine of the two. Yes, Nadine, that's what I said earlier. I don't know if you guys were with me when I was saying it all, but yes, Mama J was not looking happy and Mew looked miserable. That's right. Nobody looked happy in those pictures, not even the guy himself. It was almost like it was all put together, like they were only doing it to please the elders possibly, or they were only doing it because it was agreed to somewhere in a contract, or some sort of, I don't know, like blackmail to do something. I don't know if it went that far, but you know, there was definitely a vibe of nobody was really happy there. You could definitely see the difference between how happy and you know, dedicated to her beliefs and everything Mama J normally is with merit making. That wasn't there. In those pictures, she looked tired, worn out, exhausted, possibly not even wanting to be there. It didn't look right. And then Papa J on top of that as well. He didn't look like he was enjoying it anymore either. And then, like I said, Mew had that blunt look. Even when they were deliberately taking a picture with a monk, he looked away. He looked away with a fake smile on his face. So, you know, you have to be blind and in denial to not admit there is something amiss with this whole situation. Even if you want to go on the shipper's side for a minute, just for a minute, and think that the whole stress of there being this determined group, determined group to never believe what's going on in front of them, despite how much they try to push it in our faces, we believe that he's destined to be with someone else. Perhaps that is getting to them all so much that they're just so stressed and anxious and worried about the future. But I don't think so. I don't think so. That's probably how the shippers would see it, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, yeah, it's pretty hard to deny that there's definitely something amiss going on there, no matter how you look at it. Anyway, so yes, the man here. So the man card, as I said, was in the house of the tower. So, man in the tower could be a lonely man, could be an isolated man, could be a businessman. Perhaps if we're looking at Mew right now, this could be he's worried about his finances. So, you know, he's focused on business right now, focused on financial foundations. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Now what we do when we do this, we look the past, present, future line, which is this one. In the past, we have Bouquet in the House of Stork. So, was happy what was ahead for him, like happy to see what horizons were bringing, maybe optimistic about his future, you could say. And he was feeling lucky to have this relationship with his friend, because this is the House of the Dog. So he was feeling happy and lucky to have this person in his life. This could either be his bestie, or this could be Gulf. Not sure who yet. Nothing really tells me yet. Yeah, doesn't really tell me yet. But in the past, he was happy with this person. Well, yeah, in the past. I mean, before all the toxicity and shipping happened, they were friends, weren't they? They got along with each other. He was at Mew's birthday fan meeting back in the day in 2020. He was one of the guests. He was presented as a friend. So yes, of course, they used to be in much better terms than they are now. Then we move forward, as I said, the book in the garden, the cross in the mountain, market and stalk in the house of crossroads, clouds in the house of mice, and moon in the house of heart. You know what? This is feeling more like Gulf. This is feeling more like Gulf, simply for the reason of there's only a handful of people who know the truth about Mewgulf, perhaps, like who literally know the truth, like the closest people to them. Could also be that this could be representing that the public learnt something about Mewgulf, learnt that they weren't just Phenom, learnt that they were more than just acting together, which caused a huge problem in the past. And that caused them to decide to part ways, to stop working together, and to pursue their own careers apart. Now, in the future here, Mew's starting to look back. He's looking back through the clouds, through that confusion that he's had for a while about what happened in the past, and he's possibly starting to realize that he still has feelings. He secretly still loves golf. Right? If you were to try and make it about the other, it could be that once the public learnt about him being with the other, it became a big problem. They started to see it as potential, though. They mistaken obstacles and challenges as potential for business and started doing more together, which then
Let them have a swim.
possibly caused Mew to step out from his burnout feeling, because he felt optimistic about his life again, about his career again.
Come out here.
But then he still had this feeling deep down in his heart that there was something he wasn't addressing, like his inner child, for example. There were some emotions deep down that he had only sort of pushed aside. Suppressed emotions that needed to be addressed that he hadn't addressed. Something like that. Alright? And then if we go this way, so from the man, because we were looking at the man card, this is what's sort of on his mind, lingering on his mind, what he's thinking about. We have the dog in the house of the ship with the fox in the house of the whip. So this is like he's thinking about how he's going to continue this. With the fox there, I get the idea of deception, how he's going to continue this deception or continue being sneaky and sly about who he's truly loyal to, or about the truth between him and the other of, just being travel buddies, for example. And then underneath the man card here, we have not so much hidden influences, but it's more, what did I say it was? I'm trying to think the words I used for when I explained it in the video. More about what's unconsciously on his mind, or I suppose it is like hidden influences, but not in so many words. Anyway, we have coffin in the house of letter. So that sort of links back up to here. We had the letter in the house of the rider, news about some contract commitment or something ending. Well, we have coffin in the house of the letter here, which means like the end of an agreement. The end of a written agreement could also mean the end of communication. Let me just look that up. Can you shush? You're in the bathroom. Coffin in the house of letter. This is why I just can never do it when they're awake, you know. But I had the urge to do it, and so I did it. Coffin in the house of the letter. And believe me, it's not because I'm bored and have nothing to do. I have a lot of other stuff I could be doing right now. Just for some reason I had this urge to do this reading. So, coffin letter, communicating and ending of communication, wills, death certificates, end of contact, divorce papers, negative message, cancellation, news arrives after a delay, a document finalizes a closure. So yeah, like I said, it links directly with this, what we were talking about. There's news coming of some kind of commitment, contract, even a cycle or an agreement ending, or a promise being broken even. But yeah. And then down here again we have the ring and the mice. So definitely something to do with a commitment, contract, etc. is going to be ended, especially with the coffin here, again confirming that for us. Then down here we have Lily. Lily in the house of... Shush!
I'm going to put this on.
Lily in the house of the key. So as I said earlier, oh, actually, look, that's a... I was thinking I didn't even go there, but look, that's a direct match there. This is Lily in the house of the key and key in the house of the lily. That's a direct match there, guys. See that? Now you can go back and look if you want to see how I shuffled and put these cards out in the beginning. There is nothing fixed here, okay? There's nothing fixed here. So lily to key and key to lily. Definitely the key is being mature about something, but let me get that meaning right now. So lily to key, we'll look at it both ways because we have both. So lily to key and key to lily. Lily in the house of the key. Here it is. Lily in the house of the key. Lily in the house of the key. To open up to sensuality, virtue opens new experiences, an important career, being on the right track, a destined or successful life path, resourcefulness, self-reliance, independence, key to your peace. Key to your peace sounds right. Age an important factor. Could be that too. Protected under lock and key. Important man, mentor, certainty. Alright, and then let's go and see what key and lily is. Virtue and wisdom opens new experiences, released with time, opening up to an elder. Wintertime is key, allowing someone indiscreetly, revealing you're maturing. Key to a retirement home, remain calm, significant older man. Okay, so two things that I saw in connection with those two, lots of meanings that seem to fit together. Age is a factor. This one said age is a factor, and this one said an important older man or mature man. So in other words, it's Mew is probably the decision maker, as always, and he's trying to remain calm and decide what's best for them looking forward to their future, I would say. It was also about key to peace, being at peace when retired. That too. Also, there was elders were mentioned as well, like pleasing an elder. So there's a few things there. So coffin, as I said, this is what he has on his mind, and this is what is kind of happening. Hidden influences that are actually happening and are subconsciously playing on his mind. Well, we have the end of an agreement or a contract or a commitment or communication. So someone has stopped communicating with him, perhaps. And then we have Lily in the house of the keys. So this could even be, I'm getting the feeling, because of also what I was told about the possibility of all this merit-making event thing was possibly to please the elders. Maybe this is about the message is not getting through to the elders, like it's blocked. There's no way, and sort of neither Mew nor Mama J nor Papa J, nobody really has a way yet of how to communicate to the elders that this engagement is not going to continue, something like that, possibly something like that. Thank you. Somebody gave me something to eat. Yeah, so we've done the lines now. Let's have a look at the cards surrounding it. So I want you to try and imagine that we only have these cards here. Okay, try not to look at the other cards for a while. Let's just focus on these cards, and we're going to look at this as like a 9-card portrait. So in the middle we have Mew. This is what I refer to when I say if the man's not in the middle, it's possibly another man in the readings. Well, this time we're doing it with the man in the middle on purpose, because the man in the middle is Mew. Okay? So this is all about Mew. In the past, we have heart, clover, house. In the past, his relationship with his family was close and lucky. You could say that his family supported him wholeheartedly with his pursuit of love. And who he was loyal to.
Get out of here.
And the house and book. Thing is though, mustn't forget the houses these cards are in. So let me go back on that. Heart is in the house of the scythe. Clover is in the house of the dog. And house is in the house of the book. This could actually mean, putting all that together, this could mean that his family was in support of him ending things with his short-term lucky friend. All the noise today. And his secret was safe with them, basically. Because book and house here, it's like the secrets between what happened and everything. His secret was safe with them about what went wrong and why Mew was choosing to end things. Does that make sense? Now, if this were about golf, because we did make this line about golf, if this were about golf, it could be his family was in support of him choosing or deciding to end things in the public eye with golf back in the past. And, they were all in... His secret was safe with them. Basically, their secret relationship, Mewgulf, that was still happening behind the scenes. The family was... You guys, I'm still doing a live out here.
Still alive out there. Shh. No one think you're a bloody bogan there and the people hungry.
Like you're not doing it on purpose. So the this could be about how Mew made the strong decision to part ways with golf in the past so that golf could pursue his career, he could pursue his, and it just wasn't the right time. Age factor, career factor. There were a lot of things telling Mew that it just wasn't the right time for them. And his family was in complete support of that. Does that make sense? But I don't think, he was still remaining loyal. It wasn't that he was saying there would be nothing between them in the future. It was just at that time he was choosing to end things for the time being. Then in the current column we have the fox in the house of the whip, and of course man in the house of the tower, and coffin in the house of the letter. So they chose to part ways in the public eye, but continued to secretly communicate continued to secretly communicate in private, out of the public eye. But then possibly that has now stopped, or somebody has decided, I don't want to keep doing this, which would agree with the last reading we had about Gulf. Now another thing, let me just jump to the woman down here for a second. So the woman card, you can't really see them, can you? It's the woman card, see that? The woman card down here is, as we said at the beginning, would be Gulf, representing Gulf, knighted together with the man here. And the connecting cards for these two, you have Lily in the house of the key and Book in the house of the garden. To me, that means that they both have agreed to remain mature about their decision that they made in the past and to keep things secret from the public, from the world in general. Right? Okay. Now, moving on to the future column for the man here, going back to the man here, we have Whip in the house of birds, Book in the house of garden, and Scythe in the house of man. So, in the future column, people continue to talk. People continue to talk about what's going on, what's the true status about him and the other, and him and Gulf. We're all talking. And secrets continue to be kept from the public. That's what I'm getting from this combination now after that. Secrets are continuing to be kept from the public. He's not letting everything out of the bag about whether or not he truly has cut out this person from his life, if you're talking about Gulf, or about a decision he is making to possibly cut someone out of his life. He's not telling anyone. Since this is the Scythe and the man here, and Gulf is right there, I don't think they're one and the same. I don't think that's Gulf, as well as that being Gulf. I think this is truthfully about another man. It is truthfully about another man, or it's about Mew making a sharp decision about another man. So, even if we go up here, Crossroads in the house of house. Crossroads is in the house of house. So choosing whether to move in with this person, whether to move forward with this person, whether to have a family with this person, all those kind of things come to mind. Not to mention Crossroads has the symbol of another woman there. So, yeah, it's kind of like, go back to this, continuing to talk, there's gossip and rumour everywhere about who Mew truly wants to spend the rest of his life with, who he's going to choose to spend the rest of his life with. There's two people at this stage. There's Gulf or the other. Who is he really going to choose to spend the rest of his life with? And who is he going to cut out for good? And the answer to that question is being kept from the public. It's a real secret. It's being kept from the public. Mew is not giving away anything. He's sort of leaving it to people's imagination more than not these days of, you believe what you want to believe. You take what you want to take from whatever I put out there. And he's feeding both sides. There's no denying it. I mean, I mentioned it in the last reading. He did a fashion photo shoot for, I think it was a magazine shoot for, I think it was Bazaar, or maybe it was a different one, I can't remember, but one of them. He was doing a magazine shoot or a fashion shoot, and he deliberately put a sunflower in the picture. Now he is either sending signals to Gulf and Waanjai, or he is putting it there to feed Waanjai into believing that there is a chance. One or the other. Because it's there. The sunflower was there. Was put there. Nobody can deny that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Whatever Mew's thinking, there is a strong belief amongst us all that he's doing it for the better good of Mewgulf, that he's doing it possibly even to protect Gulf. And that no matter what, even if it's a case of they haven't been together all this time and they're twin flames sorting themselves out, even in that case, Gulf is the divine feminine. He's putting his foot down and saying, you know, I've had enough of playing around. You do your thing and you know where to find me when you've sorted yourself out. And to Mew, that's too threatening. He cannot stand the thought of Mew walking out of his life for good, even temporarily. So that's going to make him do something about it. He's either going to jump into action to keep Gulf in his life, or he's going to end things with the other in order to make things more comfortable for Gulf. But in none of my readings did it look like he was going to choose the other over Gulf and let him walk out. If he is going to choose the other over Gulf, he still wants Gulf. He still wants Gulf in his life. Even if it's on the side, secretly. He still wants Gulf in his life. And, well, Mew's just going to have to learn you can't have both. In this case, in some things you can have the best of both worlds, but in this case it's not on. It's not fair to Gulf that way. Alright, so we've done that. Now let's have a look at where the cards are knighted here amongst the man box. We have Heart is knighted with the coffin down here. And the Whip is united with the coffin. So the end of a relationship, the end of communication linked together there. And then Whip and Birds. These three here could be linked to something like, if I was going to look at it in a negative way, the end of Waanjai. Could be deciding to actually end it all by coming together only to break us up. Something like that. I don't see it, but that's just something that came to me. Ship Scythe. Sorry, not Ship. Heart Scythe. I think I might need to look at some other meanings, because I'm just thinking too negatively with that. Heart Scythe. Broken heart, ending a relationship, ending with compassion, relationships being disconnected, relationships ending suddenly and unexpectedly, desiring a breakup, decision about love life. Well, even decision about love life. This could be decision about love life is not being discussed, because coffin and letter here. So decision about love life is not being discussed and is sort of just being rolled under the carpet for now, because people continue to talk and make rumours up about it. It's almost like they dread talking about it for real. Something like that. Then we have House in the House of Book, Fox in the House of Whip, and Scythe in the house of man. So family secrets continue to be used and twisted, perhaps because of the fox here, or even maybe, you know, out of sight, out of mind, kept out of sight, kept hidden. About plans to end things with a man, could be that. Plans to cut a man out of his life are kept secret by him and his whole family. That makes more sense, doesn't it? When you put together everything that's going on right now, what we were talking about with there's definitely something amiss, they're not happy at all. Even Mama J and Papa J now are adding to that belief for us, because there's just no happy smiles going on anymore. There's no even trying to look like they're enjoying themselves. There's no trying to fake it anymore to make people believe. They just look miserable. But they're going to continue to keep the truth away from the public eye, so to speak, about what's truly happening behind the scenes. That could be a breakup. Truthfully, could be a breakup. Perhaps even this heart, scythe, coffin letter with birds. Maybe this could be even about him and the other. You know, because friendship is a relationship, so it could be maybe compassion has left the building for those two. Like they're just really not on the same page anymore. They're not agreeing. Their communication is almost feeling blocked because no one is really willing to discuss what needs to be discussed, based on possibly fear and anxiety of what's being said out there. Something like that. And then if we night the clover and dog here with the night birds, scythe mat, yeah. See, if this is Tool we're talking about, the lucky dog, he could be very anxious and worried. You know, his insecurity has been something he's had all along. So he could be very insecure about where he stands because of what's being said in public, and he could be scared. He could be scared that Mew is going to cut him out of his life for good, because maybe Mew wants to keep him in his life, like as a business partner or even just as a friend. But the way things are going, with how complicated things have got, with how many lies they've had to tell, with how many masks they've had to put on, perhaps Mew's just at that point where he's had it. You know, when an Aquarius, because he is an Aquarius, when an Aquarius closes their heart off to someone, they don't make a big deal about it. They usually just stop talking to the person, stop making efforts toward the person. Really, the person who is involved knows it. They can feel it. But it's already too late. There's no going back. The Aquarius is not going to change their mind. That's it. It's a lost cause then. And perhaps that's what has happened regarding Tool. Or if this is about Gulf, then his serendipitous encounters with Gulf and remaining loyal to Gulf continues with the birds. He continues to communicate with him that he is going to end things with this man. Could be like that.
We'll get it right this time, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, now let's have a look at the other knighting. So we're going to leave the box now, and we're going to go out of the box. So man and tower here is knighted with the bed and sun in the house of the bouquet. So in the past, he was very happy and content and clear on how he felt about, since this whole thing was about Mewgulf. He knew where he stood with Gulf and how happy he was with Gulf back in the past. Or if it's about Tull, it could be Tull too. He was happy with the friendship they had in the past. But now, Ring and Mice, this end of commitment, the choice to end a commitment or to end contract, to end working together, in other words, if it's about golf. He thought that was the mature decision to make. He chose to do it out of maturity. If it's about Tull, it could also be that he chose to end things out of maturity because he's seen the light, possibly, with how things are not working. Regarding Tull, as we touched on earlier, he wants to clear the air about what's not seen by the public. He wants to clear the air regarding him and Gulf or him and Tull. And, you know, he wants to make a decision. He wants to make a decision of where his house is and where he's going, what his life is going to be, who is going to be in his life moving forward. And we see here the woman card is in his future, knighted in his future, and that's Gulf. So that also to me says Gulf's not leaving his life. Gulf is still there. Right there. So Mew doesn't intend to let go of Gulf. If we were to make the dog Tull, he's here, which is in the current column. That could mean that there's a possibility he may not go further forward. Possibly. But it also means that Mew is undecided. He hasn't decided whether he's going to be in his future or not. If we go this way, we have the stars and the child. He still dreams of having a child, but if we continue linking that forward, that goes with the ship in the house of the snake. That could be read as, if he continues in this current ship, that's possibly not going to happen. If he continues pursuing this journey he is doing right now in his life regarding the other, he's possibly not going to have it because snake. Could also be going back to the idea that I keep going back to, which is that Tull may be stringing him along with the belief that, you know, one day we'll talk about having kids. But truthfully, Tull's possibly secretly hoping that that day never comes. If he really thinks he's going to have a future with Mew, he doesn't even want to think about it. So he's sort of deceptively stringing Mew along regarding this hope to have children of his own. Could be that. If we go down this way, we have fish in the house of woman. Fish in the house of the woman, which this could mean an abundance of emotions for the woman, or an abundance of emotions about a woman or what a woman is doing in his life. I think more likely Gulf, so it could be an abundance of emotions, or it could even be an abundance of finance, because think about it. If Mew and Gulf reunited and started working together again, do you think they're going to be successful financially? Absolutely they are. Come on. They're like the Nadek and Yaya of the BL world. people will be overjoyed to see them reunite, more than any other couple has reunited. This is the ultimate pair that people are secretly hoping will reunite and work together one day. So definitely they'll be more successful together than apart, is what I think. But that's my opinion. But because that's there, I would say, yeah, there'll be an abundance of finance flowing in the future regarding this woman. Keeping this woman in his life will benefit him. But it could also be, as I said at first, an abundance of emotions. It could be that he just has so much feeling left for this woman, or for Gulf. And all the uncertainty and clouds that were there for a short time, or whenever, about it all, about how he used to feel about him, have disappeared. It's like what I said in this line. The clouds are slowly evaporating and he's starting to see that he has real feelings for this person in his heart. Have I missed anything? No, I think... Also, woman down here is also in the house of the fish. So that's a direct link as well. Woman, fish, fish, woman. Sorry, woman, fish, woman, yeah. So that's also, if it's not Gulf, if this woman is not Gulf, if this is more about some woman who's controlling everything, could make him a lot of money, I suppose. But no, I think it's Gulf. I'm pretty sure this woman is Gulf, because at the beginning of the reading, I made it clear that Gulf was going to be the woman as well. And look how successful Gulf is right now. Even if let's say a few brands decided to drop him on account of a life decision he may make in the future regarding Mew. Doesn't matter, he'll still have plenty more after that. Not to mention their joint work, how much that will bring money in, because Wanjai, you will be unstoppable. If Mewgulf start working together again, they will be so supported. There are a lot of rich Wanjai out there, especially in, I think it was China was the most dominant. So yeah, I mean, look at how little support the other two are getting financially. I mean, they're even having to beg somewhat for people to support them financially. They never did that before. So, and not to mention, you look at all the gifts that Mew gets in his fan meetings. Still, he gets gifts from Wanjai, from very generous Wanjai. He gets these huge gifts. He gets it from his Mewlians as well, of course. But compared to Mewlians and Wanjai, the smallest group are the shippers. And what little they do give them just sort of gets lost in the crowd. When he displays all these huge gifts and everything. Just, there's no real thing there about it. It's just a very small group still supporting them. So definitely not going to help financially. So yeah, it could mean that also Gulf is tied to money. Not because Mew's going to take advantage of that, but because it's just a given. It's a given. If they work together again, there's going to be a lot of money coming in. But as I said, it could also be emotions. Emotions clearing about how he truly feels about this person. Alright, now let's have a look at the woman the same way. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me do the 7 card skip. I've forgotten the proper name of it, forgive me, but basically what we do is we count 6 cards around the man card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First one we have is the child and stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the ship with the snake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Letter with the rider. Letter with the rider. So somebody is going to be bringing news about a fake ship or a false journey that may be regarding a child, or maybe a new endeavor, a new project, perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably project, because the man is in the house of the tower, which could also be work. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mice and ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tree in the house of, that's sun. Tree in the house of sun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's it. Well, tree in the house of the sun. We got that in the last reading, didn't we? We got that in, well, not the last reading, in the portrait reading. Mew's reading for the portrait had tree and sun in it, didn't it? Because we were talking about it possibly being about sunny. But this literally, with those cards, letter in the house of the rider, ship in the house of the snake, there is news coming, or there has been news about possibly the travel buddies, or doing a job overseas. Job overseas. I wonder if this is regarding possibly the new thing that Mew's doing in Macau, maybe. Dreaming to have a new start. Because he hasn't done that before, has he? This thing he's doing, this dream trip with Macau or something, it's like traveling with fans. Actually traveling with fans overseas, something like that. Also, the funny thing about it, why did they use a picture just after he had, shaved his head for monkhood? Why did they use that picture? It's a bit strange, wasn't it? It was like a pull from the past. Mysterious feeling to it all. Maybe that trip isn't going to happen. Don't take my word for it, but maybe there won't be enough people who can afford it, or enough interest. Maybe not enough people will be interested in it, because it's a big ask, like to drop everything in your life and suddenly go traveling. Especially if, like I said, you're not rich and you can't afford it. Or maybe it will be cancelled for other reasons. Let me see what Sun Tree brings up. Actually, it's Tree Sun. Sorry, Tree Sun. Tree in the house of the sun. Lots of energy, strong health, family happiness, last triumphs, bored of your achievements. Bored of your achievements. Maybe Mew will just decide to cancel the trip because he doesn't want to leave his happy family. Whatever that may entail. Let me see what ship in the house of the snake is. desire to travel, desire to explore, sexual exploration, enemy from overseas, a nemesis of a foreign background, suspicious stranger, a trip that involves an affair, problems with a trip. Yeah, problems with a trip or I suppose a trip that involves an affair could be, but if you consider Mew going on a trip with fans an affair. It's left me a little bit unsure, actually. News coming about a trip. Desire. Maybe somebody is going to approach me saying they want to go on a trip. Desire to travel. Maybe Gulf. Maybe Gulf will approach me and say he wants to go on a trip with him. Desires to have a new start with him. Possibly for work. Or man in tout maybe alone. Just the two of them. To end this cycle of non-communication, perhaps, and to grow as we go, to become stronger. They're already strong. There's a very strong bond, but to grow even stronger. If I jump to pairing the cards, this card is paired with this lot up here, which is about clearing the air to the public of what the truth is behind the scenes. So perhaps, maybe it's not so much a trip as such, but more like Gulf has approached Mew about... his desire to work with Mew again to clear the air about what the truth is about them, so they can have a new start together and with their fans, possibly through the guise of work. And like I said, end the cycle of non-communication, possibly more with the public than with each other. Because even if you look here, see the woman is knighted with the house in the book here. So the secrets that this family holds for Mew definitely is regarding Gulf here. All right. I think I've exhausted that now. Just what I've done there. So I think we'll move on. So yes, the woman. In the past, the woman was mature about a decision that was made, or Gulf was mature about a decision that was made, possibly the decision to part ways for work. In his future, we have birds in the house of anchor and tower in the house of cross. So that's like the communication he still has, as little as it may be, the communication he still has with Mew is what keeps them stable, keeps them anchored, keeps them strong. Or it could also be that communication stops. Becomes stagnant, perhaps. Could also be that. And the tower and the cross here could just be, it's too hard to work together. Let me get the meanings for those, actually. So, birds in the house of the anchor. Birds, anchor. inability to let go of worries, focus on stress, confident self-expression and speaking your truth. This pairing suggests finding the courage to speak out with determination, or it can indicate the postponement of a trip to establish stability first. Oh, well, I was just talking about that, wasn't I? Gulf approaching you about a trip. Maybe something there. Chats at a seaside, expressing a desire for consistency, talking with someone consistently, stable or unstable relationship, meeting. Alright, and then Tower in the House of the Cross. Tower in the House of the Cross. Loneliness creates suffering, the burden of authority, church, certified religious institution, controlling your pain, problems with authorities, church and temple. Well, that could be that it's still a problem. Authorities or possibly even elders could be a problem. People who think they are in charge of your life could be a problem. Or if it's going back to like the boss figures or the hierarchies in the business world of you, it could be abuse of power as well. This is linked with the man scythe here, which could mean the trouble is regarding the man, which is possibly Tool here. The trouble, what is burdening Gulf, or the woman here, is possibly the decision to end things with the other two. It's just keeps being put aside. Or if this woman is somebody else for a minute, could also, the woman's burden could be that Mew plans to end things with Tool, which means her whole plan is going to fall to bits. Could also be that. Remember I said people can be more than one person, so this could be, it could be Gulf, but it could also be another woman as well. Now we look at what's on this woman's mind. Well, she's right down the bottom here, so she's got a lot on her mind. She's got decision about a house, or who you're going to live with, who you're going forward with in life, whip about what people are talking about, secrets being kept from the public, and a decision to be made about a man. In this case, it could be very well Gulf. Gulf is deciding right now who's going to live in his house, so to speak, based on things people keep saying, secrets that keep being kept from the public, and his decision to possibly attempt, and I say attempt because that's still there, attempt to cut things off with Mew, or as a divine feminine, attempt to disconnect and walk away. Mew's not going to let that happen. If you were watching my last reading, Mew was very definite about not letting Gulf walk. So in the future, making a mature decision about hidden feelings we have here. If we go this way, we have the burden, the very overbearing burden that they're dealing with right now is directly linked to this woman. So definitely, well, basically Gulf is suffering, whatever this is. Gulf is suffering through it all because of Snake in the House of Clouds, because of hidden deception. Gulf is suffering because of hidden deception. Do you see that, guys? That makes it all make sense, just there. Because hidden deception be exactly what we're talking about. You know, the fact that the other two are not real, the fact that the other two are false, deceptive, but they stop anything happening between you and Gulf, nonetheless, at this stage. Then if we go into the surrounding cards, in the past, a decision to cut communication was made maturely, and it was the right thing to do back then. We have Key and Lily here, so possibly divine timing had something to do with it. As I said, like even Mew, he just knew it wasn't the right time to be pursuing his relationship with Gulf back then. On his mind and currently, a decision about a man. Decision about a man. Now, this doesn't have to mean it's his decision. It could just be even a decision about a man of perhaps Mew. A decision that is regarding him in some way. But it also could be him making the decision too. In fact, because it's here like this, it could be a joint decision. It could be a very sharp decision both of them have to make. And then in the future we have the fish in the house of the woman and the birds in the house of the anchor. So continue focusing on work and making money, making a strong financial foundation for himself, whether his future holds Mew in it or not, from his perspective, and to keep talking, to keep them strong, or to end communication for now, so that things can move on. Coffin and letter is linked with the birds and anchor. So that, to me, yeah, the idea of communication is being halted or becomes stagnant. Definitely something there. And the mature decision is based on divine timing. He's going to focus on work and continue adding to his financial future, so to speak. Or if this is an abundance of emotions, it could be more that he's going to focus on himself, me, myself, and I. And, with that new emotional maturity that is found, he's going to live on being single and focusing on himself until perhaps this divine masculine of his gets his act together and is ready to meet him on the same level. Okay. Have I missed anything? Nope. I think that's it. And then the 7 cards for the woman. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the crossroads in the house of the house. Again, he's got to make a decision about his house or about his future life, future household, possibly even about his comfort zone. Maybe he's got to make a decision about whether he's going to continue living in his comfort zone or whether he's going to risk it all, step out of his comfort zone and try and follow his dreams, perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heart and scythe. So decision about whether he's going to end this relationship or make a sharp decision about this relationship, which again goes back to the idea of what I just said. Gulf may be the divine feminine and decide, you do you know where to find me when you get your act together, but for now I'm going to live with or without you, sort of like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. We have mountain in the house of... That's right, mountain in the house of stars. So the dream to live happily ever after with a family and a white picketed fence, etc. is a bit hard at the moment. There is an obstacle or a blockage in the way of that right now. Of course there is, because he doesn't have anyone to do it with yet, or at least not according to the public, or not someone he can do it freely with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stalk and market in the house at the crossroads. Could even be that it's too hard to do the live happily ever after with a family and a white picketed fence, etc., because it's the obstacle is the idea of having to leave his career behind, possibly as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And which would then, make him worry about finances, what's going to happen to his financial future, etc. Is that right? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Forgive me. It was actually Scythe and Man is where the card stops. Not this one. So, no. The trouble, the obstacle stopping him from having that dream come true of having a family of his own, a white picketed fence in the mountains, etc. What's stopping him is the Scythe and the Man. Not being able to cut this man out of their life. I say their life because this is a Mewgulf reading. This isn't just Mew or just Golf. This is a Mewgulf reading. So I'm starting to get the feeling that this Scythe and Man here really is Tull. And here's the problem. It links that. Here's the problem. The problem with his love life right now, and the decision has to be made because there's an obstacle standing in the way of him moving on, leaving his comfort zone and moving on and being more serious about his love life because of this man with the scythe. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we end up with the woman, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Now, last thing we do in a tableau is pair them all up. Let me just see if you've said anything I haven't looked at yet. Kids, no. Sunny is the new distraction, yes. I said that I don't understand what he thinks of me, how he's feeling right now, or exactly what's going on. Not sure I follow you, sorry. Don't know what you're saying. Gulf is the branding king. He is so successful with these high-end brands. Yes, he is. And as I said earlier, I don't think, even if a few brands were to drop him, for whatever reason, because of something he decides regarding Mew, he's still going to be successful no matter what. Unlike Mew has been. I mean, somewhat little success Mew has had, but I think Gulf would be more successful just because, you know, he's more willing to, I suppose, do what he's told in a way. He's more humble, he's more submissive. He's possibly easier to work with for that reason. Also, if he stays with the same agency, you know, you have to also remember that Mew is out on his own. Even though he has a company and all, he's still out on his own. Gulf has a whole army behind him getting him work. So there could be that too. Okay. Right, so left to do pairing all the cards. So the letter up here with the rider paired with the child and moon card. So that could be, there's news coming about a new start or a new project, a secret new project perhaps. Or maybe there is a new start plan between Mewgulf, but it's secret at the moment, but it's going to be revealed. Perhaps. Then, as I said earlier, the tree here in the house of the sun, so very strong bond, very healthy bond, paired with clearing the air about what is unseen to the public. That's a good match. Then we have key in the house of lily with dog in the house of ship. So the key is to remain mature about the current situation, ship, with a dog or someone Mew is, I'll say Mew because it's in Mew's line here, that Mew is loyal to. Perhaps this could even be having a strong bond, clearing the air, which makes the bond with Wanjai stronger, and in that case, loyal Wanjai. You could even say this dog up here with ship could be loyal shippers, loyal Wanjai. Or if it's the other ship, just loyal shippers in general. Remaining mature about that is key. Crossroads in the house with fish in the house of woman. Focusing on having that financial safety net to fall back into regarding whatever happens in the future, which I think definitely Gulf has, but also Mew is working on it. I don't know if he's working on it in the way he says he is in interviews, but definitely working on it in the background. Bear in the house of tree with scythe in the house of man. So bear tree, let me just look that up. Bear tree, definitely about like strong health. Bear tree, healthy diet, nutrition, overwhelming condition, expensive illness, head of a family, your ancestors empowering your family, forcing something which should come naturally. Yeah, so bear tree being linked with, oh, you've said a lot here too. What's going on here? Most Wanjais are not commenting as before. They are just watching and waiting. That's right, Nadine. Mewgulf is so successful as a team. They used to sell out anything in minutes. Gulf, yes, I was thinking about that pit too on the poster. Mew needs a better marketing team. Mewgulf suffering in silence. Yes, Nadine, I agree with everything you said. Okay, right, so what was I saying? The bear in the house of the tree. So, as it said, the head of the family. Well, this again goes to the idea of the problem with cutting this person out of their life, out of Mewgulf's life, could be difficult and remain a big problem right now, an unbearable issue, unbearable obstacle, because that person is the head of the household. And that, I don't mean Mama or Papa J or even Gulf's family. I mean like head of the household, like hierarchy, patriarch, monarch, which goes back to again what I said about how all this thing that's happening right now with the merit making and everything on Mew's side Could also be linked to, pleasing the elders, Could be something to do with that as well, which could also be stopping, excuse me, could be stopping them from having this problem and person possibly completely removed. So there's that. Yeah. Bear and tree, scythe and mat. Yeah. Right? Now, snake in the house of the clouds with coffin in the house of letter. It's not being talked about. It's not being talked about the deception and lies being told. They're not talking about it. They're sort of just brushing it aside, hiding it in the clouds, hoping that, it will never be revealed, the truth. Let me look up snake and clouds. Snake in the house of the clouds. Confusion about desires, confusion caused by manipulation, no solution, double agents in your life, manipulation of others who are mentally weaker, ill will, lies or deceit, a very tricky situation. So even just the no solution and a very tricky situation could be what that's talking about there. Because, as I just said, if it's the head of a household that's making the problem, this person is somebody that obviously Mew or Gulf or even Tool look up to, answer to, because they're the head of a household. And, they can't just stand up to them and say, well, actually, no, I don't want to do what you want me to do. They can't do that, especially in those respective Asian family. Excuse me. What do you call it? Dynamics. And it would also explain why everybody looks so miserable at the merit making. I didn't see one person, but maybe there was one person hidden amongst the crowd who wanted this merit to happen the way it did and was really happy with the results, but then perhaps not so happy because nobody was happy. You know what I mean? Whoever this person is that is causing the trouble, I really hope they start to, the truth gets revealed to them in a natural, honest manner. I'm not saying that somebody suddenly gets a backbone and decides to stand up to them, but more so that they start to see it themselves, that they start to see the obvious, that pair are just not compatible as they thought, or they're not going to bring as much financial benefit to the family as they thought, and they need to stop flogging a dead horse, more or less. Hopefully. Can only hope, can't we? So, where are we? Oh, it's suddenly gone dark. What happened there? Because the sun went down. I hope you guys can still see the cards all right. Ship here in the house of snake with house in the house of book. So again, family secrets. Family secrets about deceptive jobs, deceptive journeys, deceptive ambitions, or even desire to travel, desire to move on, possibly. Or problems with a trip. Maybe this is, the family has the secrets of how incompatible the travel buddies really are, because they've seen it. Something like that. Then we have mice mice and ring with ring and coffin. I already kind of did that earlier, where it kind of confirms itself that some kind of relationship commitment is going to be ended, finished, terminated, or a promise is going to be broken even. Could be that. A promise is going to be broken. And then moving on, we go down to these cards here. We have, hang on, let me do this right. Start from this end. The bed and sun in the house of the bouquet, with the heart, with the moon in the house of the heart. So, very comfortable and content and happy in secret. Secretly loving someone and being happy and content with that person in secret. Adds to the idea of, like I said, Mewgulf are still very possibly together in the background. They're just not in public eye, and they're being very careful and cautious and secretive about, still seeing each other, but their secret is safe with their family. Their desire to travel, etc., is safe with their family. And they are very, very much supported with their family. Then heart with scythe linked with clouds and mice. Could be, this is a decision about your love life has to be made. Clarity is coming for that. The clouds are evaporating, so that both Mew and Gulf are starting to see clearly what they need to do for the good of their relationship. Fox in the house of the whip, with market stalk in the house of the crossroads. Continuing to be cautious and careful, as I just said, cautious and careful about being seen together, possibly avoiding it altogether, which means, not really thinking about working together at all in public. Staying away from that. Then we have the whip in the house of the birds with the cross in the house of the mountains. The problem is people talk. People talk, and there is still a lot of anxiety and worry about, what their future holds, what's going to happen in the future. Things are very uncertain, even though they know what has to be done. They know what has to be done in order for them to be happy, and that's probably to end the other situationship going on. But it's very difficult and hard. It's a very hard issue to cut this person out of their life, because, going back again, tracing back to the possible head of the household is making it hard for them. Moving on. Where are we up to? Cross that. Then book in the house of the garden, with stars in the house of child, wasn't it? So book in the house of the garden, you could say that people already know how much Mewgulf want kids. The book could be looked at as records. We go back to that surrogacy talk, and also just all the records we have of how well both Mew and Gulf get along with kids, even to this day, even when they've been on their own in their individual careers, how much they get along with kids, how much it's obvious that they're both meant to be parents one day. So there's that. And seeing all that coverage on the internet of possibly Mew being with baby Nini and Gulf being with other kids from time to time is really reminding them that, yeah, if I really do want that, I want it with you. Like, moving on, we have Man in the House of the Tower with the Anchor in the House of the Fox. Now, this is an interesting match. How Anchor in the House of the Fox. Let me get that. What I'm thinking, though, Anchor in the House of the Fox, secretly stuck. Like, people may not realize, but you have some kind of a bondage, a leash tied around your neck that you can't get out of. Anchor Fox, where is it? Anchor Fox. Persevering despite being around a lot of competitors, problems at work, long-term job, achieving goals through cunning methods. There's also if you look on the more side of Fox being like self-love, there's secure in one's identity, focused on self-interest, stable job, and staying self-employed. So there could also be that. There could be, since this is paired with the Man in the Tower, it could even just be that Mew is really only thinking about himself right now, as selfish as that sounds. He's possibly more focused on, keeping his financial status stable, staying self-employed and not having to sign up with a agency again, like Mew is. Like Gulf is. Having problems at work could also play into it. Or achieving goals through cunning methods. Well, achieving goals through cunning methods could be related to his work with Sunny, but could also be related to the whole thing. This whole charade that's going on with him and the other. Could be achieving goals through cunning methods, possibly. And then we have Clover in the House of the Dog with Ryder in the House of the Bear. See, this again, I told you my other reading, in my other grand tableau, the dog, in other words, Tool, was linked with the rider. Here we go again. Clover, dog, lucky relationship, lucky friendship, lucky travel buddy, lucky but short term. Maybe even Clover could mean karmic, so like karmic relationship with this dog. This dog is going to be bringing news. That's a big deal. News that's a big deal, and that news, if we go back here, is about a contract or an agreement or possibly an engagement. And then if we carry on, we go to it's about the ring, which would be the right one, or letter in coffin could be ending an agreement, and then from coffin we go to ring. So yeah, you see how that works? I basically end up where I started anyway. So yeah, it's definitely about this. Tool still seems to be the messenger here. He's going to bring some kind of news about a breakup, about the end of a commitment, end of a contract, breaking a promise, ending a cycle, something like that. It's going to be something like that. Wow, that's interesting. And then, in the next reading, we'll see if that continues to be the case with Tool being the rider, won't we? And then Mountain in the House of the Stars with Bouquet in the House of Stork. Them following their dreams, Mewgulf following their dreams is a big problem right now. There's a huge obstacle in the way of them, that they can't do it. And happiness is kind of left Happiness has kind of left them. Neither of them can be fully happy right now with the situation. Could also be the bouquet and stalk could also be looking at better things coming, future horizons, remaining optimistic about the future. Could also be that. Let me just see. Bouquet and stalk. Let's see what bouquet and stalk comes up with. Bouquet, stalk. Transformation in social life, getting admiration from one's changes, surprise pregnancy, decorating a nursery, appreciation. Be a comma there. A pregnant person, appreciating a nurse, surprise changes, positive change, redecorating. So yeah, change. It's a change card, stalk. So there's a positive change coming. There's or a surprise change coming. There's a transformation coming. But having that change happen is either a big problem. I suppose that change would be possibly going back to cutting somebody out of their life. But it could also be that whatever's already happened, the transformation that's already happened in their lives, could be causing the problem, such as this person is in Mew's life to begin with, and that's caused a huge problem. Could also be like that. And then lastly, looking at the fate line down here, which is the 4 cards down here, we have Lily Key, Woman Fish, Bird Anchor, Tower Cross. Stay mature. The key is to remain mature. Keep your wits about you. Keep working and focusing on your own emotions for Woman Fish, as well as, I think, making money as well. Keep connected somehow. I would say that to remain stable in their relationship, Mewgulf need to keep that line of communication open, no matter how little or small it is. And Tower Cross. Let me just see what Tower Cross brings up. Tower Cross. Tower Cross. Loneliness creates suffering, the burden of authority, church, certified religious institution, controlling your pain, problems with authorities, church, temple. That's right, we already read it earlier. So authorities. Authorities is the problem, possibly. But, keep that line of communication open between Mewgulf and prevent each other from going into loneliness. And try and, discuss with each other how you can handle all this problem with authority and possibly abuse of power. Sorry, power of abuse. I keep getting mixed up. Abuse of power. Abuse of power. It's abuse of power. Yeah, it could be discussing about that as well. Right. Okay, so I hope this reading was somewhat informative for you. I could look into it further, as in, looking at the heart here, surrounding cards. Mountain. Yeah, but I kind of feel like I've done enough for you guys to sort of look at the cards and figure it out for yourself. You can pick any of these cards and look at the surrounding cards to gain more clarity on the middle card. So you know, maybe you should do it yourself. Like heart, for example, with the heart card here, you would make that into 9 cards there and go through them the way I go through a 9-card portrait, and also knight the cards. You know, just experiment yourselves at home and see what else you can come up with, and then comment underneath this video, you know, what insights you got from the cards. I'd like to see if other people can get anything else out of this reading that we haven't already covered. What else have you guys said? Nothing, that was all. Yeah, so how long have we been going this reading? It's been 2.5 hours already, guys. I think that's enough for this one. And I'll turn it off and I will start doing the reading for the other 2. Or maybe... No, I better not. I was just thinking I could just change the title and keep going, but it's probably not a good idea. I'll just stop here and we'll do it that way. So yeah, I'm still going to do, next week I'm going to do the monthly portraits for August. Don't worry, I'm still going to do that. It was just that all of a sudden I had the urge to do this grand tableau reading for the 2 pairs, just because they're due, and I don't know when I'm going to get the other one out to you guys. I really don't. You know, what I just did there live, explaining all these cards and everything, it's basically writing it all out and making it look nice in a pretty package, is what's holding up the other one from coming out. Maybe I should just send it out as it is, raw. Maybe I should forget about adding to it and just have it sent out raw like it is with this one. Let me know what you guys want. If you want me to keep working on a over detailed one of them, or if you think like me just doing it live like this is enough. Let me know. Alright, so I'll leave it there, guys, and give me a few minutes to pack this up and then I'll start the next one, okay?
Dibs.
That's my cue. Okay. See you for now. I'll try not to be too long.